Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Why men test women in relationships, part two. Now, what I want you to understand is I did a video on this, and so many women were saying, oh, that's a childish man. And if a man tests me, he's going to lose. And I'm not playing the games. And why do people got to test people? And this is so stupid. This is so ignorant. Listen to me. Women saying a good man will never test you. Good men don't play games. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Trying to get y'all to understand. There is no such thing as a perfect man. A good man is still a human. He is imperfect. A good man that you call a good man will still test you, will still play games. Women test men. A woman's test to a man to see if he's a sucker. A woman may say, oh, I need some help with my light bill. You know, it's just so hard being a single mom. And then that man said, okay, boom, I got you. Here go your light bill. Now she knows. Or another test may be a woman acting insecure. Well, who were you talking to? I called you, you didn't answer your phone. Who were you talking to see if he's going to fly off the handle, or to see if he's going to play into her hand and give her more attention, give her extra attention? Women test men too. What you have to understand is that humans test humans. And listen, you do yourself no favor by saying, well, if a man tests me, he's going to lose. And if a man tests me, that's the end of that. And if a man tests me, a test is actually good for you, because it actually allows you the opportunity to show this man that you are not a fugazi woman, that you're not a game, that you are the real deal. A test actually is good for you. It's the same thing like in school. If you don't get tested, then you can't show that you've actually learned, that you're actually smart, that you actually are passing the class. If nobody gets a test and everybody gets an A, that's not fair for those of you who have done the homework and have put in the time. So a test is not a bad thing. It's honestly what we need to do with any relationship. But see, you have to stop looking at test as a bad thing. Don't look at test as like playing a game. It's not a game. It's really you evaluating. It's you evaluating this person to see if they are a good person for you. So if you go into a relationship with a man, it will be very wise of you to see how he responds to something that can make him angry. Because if you don't find out how he acts when he's angry in the first 12 months, and that doesn't mean go to him and say, I cheated on you. That doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that you go and you slap him in the face or something, but it means that you are in a position to pay attention to see how he responds to being angry, to see how he handles that emotion. So a man, and understand, PhD, billionaire, millionaire, Christian, pastor, mature, real, every term you want to use for a man, he will test you, because that is human nature. Stop trying to argue that and get around that. You're being tested this very day. He's testing you right now. You're going to be tested. But the thing about it is, here's the key. If you know who you are, you won't even see the test and it won't even matter, because you have morals and you have values and you have standards. So if you have morals and values and standards and you have self-love, then guess what? It doesn't matter how he tests you, because you're going to pass the test. The reason why so many women got offended about being tested is because you fear failure. You fear failing the test. Just like in school, we get mad about a pop quiz because we haven't studied. But if you've studied, when you get the pop quiz, you're like, okay, thank you, easy A. I've been studying since Monday of last week. I'm ready. Thank you. So you're not mad about a test if you're ready. You're mad about a test if you're weak and you're vulnerable and you're not ready. So here's one of the biggest tests that men are going to try. One of the biggest tests that men is going to try is to try to sleep with you. Why do you sleep with a man? What do you tell? Why do you sleep with a man? One of the number one things I hear women say is I slept with him because I felt like if I didn't sleep with him, he would leave because another woman would be willing to sleep with him. That is a bad reason to sleep with a man. Another thing I've heard a lot is I slept with him because he was so kind and he was so nice and he hadn't tried me and he paid for every meal. He took me on amazing dates. He treated me with so much respect. I felt like I owed him. I felt like he deserved it. That is a terrible reason to sleep with a man. The one reason that I've heard women say is I slept with him because I wanted it. Because I needed me some. I needed me a little bit of that vitamin D. I wanted it. I'm a grown woman and I want that. But why do you want that? I've heard women say that and I've asked them in coaching. I say, well, why did you feel you wanted it? And I've heard women tell me because I feel addicted to it. I feel I have to have it. And then I ask, were you violated at a young age? And I would say 99% of those women say yes. At 10 years old, at 11 years old, I was exposed to physical intercourse. And from then, I've been addicted. I felt I had to do it. And so you understand that the root cause, it hasn't been addressed. The root is a root of pain. The root is a root of insecurity, of vulnerability. So what you have to understand is that at the root cause of your decision is a weakness, a vulnerability that hasn't been addressed. And so that is why you fear being tested, because you fear failing the test and then losing this man. But see, what you have to realize is that the reason why men test women is because men, innately, a man knows that he should marry one woman and be 100% faithful for the rest of his life. To start a family with that woman and to be able to be faithful to his wife and his children. But I think one thing that women don't understand about that is picking a wife for a man who never took a class called How to Choose Your Wife. There is no class called How to Choose Your Wife. So a man picking a wife is like playing the lottery. So the reason why men test women in relationships is because he is so afraid to choose the wrong woman. He does not want to go through a divorce. So he asks you to sleep with him. Because if you sleep with him on the first night, yes, he is wrong for taking it. I'm not excusing him doing that. Yes, he's wrong for taking it. But if you give it to him, you're just as wrong. But this is what you have to understand. The decision The proposition, the one who proposes, is the man. So what's happening is he's testing you to see if you are wife ready. And if you say, no, I'm not sleeping with you, what's wrong with you? You might not hold that against him as a woman because you know every man is asking you that. He knows that too. If he was the only man asking you to sleep with you, then he wouldn't ask you, because he would understand that you would judge him as a no good, sorry man. But he knows if he asks you to sleep with him, you're just going to look at him like every other man. But one thing he knows is that your response to what he asks you shows him where you are in your life. So if you say yes and you barely even know him, it's just been a few months, then he says, okay, well, if that's where she is in her life, then what if I leave tomorrow? What if we have sex tonight and I leave tomorrow? And then she does the same thing 4 more times this year. So she's averaging 4 men a year. And she's 38. She started having sex at 18. So it's been 20 years. She's averaging 4 men a year. So that means she slept with 80 men. Do I want to marry this woman and be with her for the rest of my life if she slept with 80 men? Now listen, lady, understand this, understand this, understand this. Explaining a man's thought process is not excusing his thought process. I'm trying to help you understand what he is thinking and how he is seeing you, how he is reading you, how he is judging you. We judge people in business, in friendships, and in intimate relationships. We judge people, which is really discretion, and discernment can also be coupled with or labeled as judgment, because you're making a judgment call. Is this person a good person? Is this person where they need to be in their life? But guess what? If a woman has a one night stand with every man that she meets, if a woman has a one night stand with every man that she meets, and she has a one night stand with these men because she has been raped as a child, she has been abused, she has gone through all of this pain, she did not know any better, and she has lost herself. And then a man meets her and he doesn't test her in any way. So then, and he gives her the credit of being a good woman. Man, this is a good woman because she hasn't slept with me. But he didn't try her. He didn't ask her how she felt about premarital sex. He didn't ask her. So he doesn't even know. To ask her is to test her. That's what I'm saying. It's not like hold you down, tie you up. To ask her is to test her, to see how she responds to that question. So if he doesn't ask her, and let's paint a picture. And let's think, you think about this as a woman. So if he goes to a woman that you know personally, you went to school with her and you know she's absolutely promiscuous, and this is a great man, this is an amazing man, and you feel like you would love to be with him. If he met her first and he doesn't ask her how she views premarital sex, and he just gave her the benefit of the doubt because he never asked her, and then he married her, and you're like, what? This is a good man. This is a classy man. This is a respectable man. And he married her. Well, he married her because he didn't test her. So he didn't know her deficiencies. He didn't know her inadequacies. He didn't know her lack of self-love, her lack of self-worth. And then he marries her. And then while they have an argument and they're on a week break, she meets another man at the gas station. He calls her. She answers because her heart is hurting. She's feeling lonely. So they connect. They meet up. And then now this man, he asks her. He tests her. And she sleeps with him. Because of her same insecurity that she's had since childhood. She sleeps with him. So now she has cheated on her husband because she's still broken. She's still hurting. And then you're sitting over here saving yourself, abstinent, waiting on a good man. But the good man married the woman who's still broken and hurting and lost and confused. And then he gets cheated on her. So now he's hurt. So now he divorces her. And now he comes to you broken, beaten, battered, scorned, and jaded. And now he brings all this pain to you. And you're like, listen, hold on. What did I do? I didn't deserve all of this. I've been saving myself. I've been waiting on my husband. And you coming to me with all this toxic energy trying to judge me and accuse me of being a liar and a cheater just because your last woman cheated on you? Man, what you doing? But guess what? All of that happened because he didn't test her. Because he didn't ask her. And when I say test, y'all taking it too literally. You taking it as a game. Versus him, when I say test, is basically like questioning. How do you feel about premarital sex? You know, do you have faith? Like, what is your faith? What's your belief system? Are you Christian, Muslim, agnostic, atheist? That is what I mean by test. If you got this far, you got all the knowledge. You getting the knowledge. You seeking knowledge. Type "be blessed" in the comments if you got this far. So understand this. Now, that is why there are benefits to a test. Because guess what? If he tests her and he says, how do you feel about premarital sex? And she says, I'm with it. If you with it, I'm with it. Like, I'm like, hey, it's whatever. It's cool. You can get it. And he's like, oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you. But then he said, now what he should do as a real man, if he's a real man, and then she try to come on to him, or she try to come on to him to give him what he just asked about. He said, oh, whoa, hold on. No. I don't want to do that. I just was asking you a question. I don't want to do that. Actually, I'm abstinent. That's what he should do. So I'm not saying that he should test her and sleep with her. I'm not saying that he should test her. What I'm saying is that he's going to test her. But what I'm trying to show you is if he doesn't test her, that's how the woman who isn't ready, who isn't wife ready, wins. When he doesn't test her. And that is why men test women. Because guess what this test does for you? If you have come to your senses and you have healed, you have worked on yourself, you have done the inner work, you've forgiven your past, you realize that you were abused or abandoned or taken advantage of or disrespected or cheated on or whatever it may be. You realize all that. You realize all of that and you say, you know what? I'm leaving that in the past. I'm healing, I'm healthy, and I'm whole. Guess what? If this man who is a good man, if he asks her how she feels about premarital sex and she says, I'm with it, it's whatever. And then he comes to you and he asks you, how do you feel about premarital sex? He, what we would call tests or tries you. And you're like, honestly, I'm not ready for that. I'm not doing that until I know that I'm ready, that I know that this is my husband. And to be honest with you, you know, that's not something that's even on the table for me. You might not even tell him that I'm waiting until marriage because you may not want to make that promise if you don't fully know that in the heat of the moment that you won't slip up. Because if you do slip up, now you've lost all respect and now he calls you a liar and a clout chaser and you just told him you were absent until marriage for clout. So you may say that's not on the table for me right now, to be honest with you. Guess what? She failed the test, which showed where she is in her life. Still lost, still hurting, still confused, and needing some work, needing some healing. You passed the test by being whole, healthy, and ready. So now this is how men looking for a wife go through their process of elimination, because this is the biggest decision that he's going to make in his life. Because no man in their right mind wants to be changing wives. It happens because he chose wrong or he didn't grow as a person and he didn't do right himself. He was immature himself. So divorces happen. But he doesn't want, a man in his right mind, a good man doesn't want it to happen. So that's what I need you to understand. That is why men are testing you. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that he should. I'm just showing you why he does it and what can happen if he doesn't do it. But then also how it can benefit you if you are righteous and ready. Because your true self will be illuminated and he will see that I tried this woman and I asked her some questions that I've asked other women and her answers were totally different. This is a real woman. This is a ready woman. This is who I can see being my wife. So I'm cutting off everybody else and I'm focusing solely on her because we on the same pages based on how she answered these questions. So understand that. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. I'm trying to help y'all. But y'all just be arguing the most, the smallest insignificant points. And then y'all want every man to be perfect, every man to come ready made, every man to do everything you want him to do the way you want him to do it. And that's just not how the world works. So you have to be prepared for what you're going to face in the world instead of waiting on the world to become perfect for you. You got to be prepared for what you're going to face. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. Be blessed. We'll talk soon.